Tonight, we are following breaking news out of Akron. 2 are dead after a plane crashed into a home. You can see images right here of the flames and smoke erupting from that home. This is on Canterbury Circle in Akron. Now, here's a live picture from our drone of the aftermath. Right now, crews and investigators are on the scene looking into how all of this happened. Let's get right out to our Hunter Bertram, who arrived on the scene shortly after the crash. Hunter, what's the latest?
Yeah, Russ, we still don't know the identities of the 2 people who were killed in this plane crash in this Coventry Crossing neighborhood. We do know the people who were inside the home at the time were able to make it out of the home without any injuries. The Ohio State Highway Patrol says a 1963 Piper Cherokee single-engine aircraft went down around 3:45 this afternoon off Canterbury Circle. Investigators say the plane had taken off from Akron Fulton Airport before the crash. Here's what fire had to say when that call came in.
We got a call that residents saw a plane going down into the house. We got more calls that people heard explosions, and we arrived to heavy smoke coming out of the house, and we approached it as a house fire. No injuries to the residents who lived there. They were able to get out. They were home, but we do have 2 deceased people inside of the plane.
What? Oh my God. God is looking after you, because there's the fear running through my mind. If you wake up and a plane smashes into your house. Well, probably, I don't know if they were sleeping or not, but that's crazy. Let's keep going into this.
And 3 News viewers did send us in photos after the immediate impact. There was a large plume of black smoke from this home. And so far, no injuries to anyone on the ground, just damage to property. The FAA just telling me shortly ago, the FAA and National Transportation Board Safety Transportation Board will investigate. The NTSB will be in charge of the investigation and will provide further updates. Russ.
All right, honey, we will see you at 7 o'clock with an update. Thank you. Arlena Lai in the studio now with more on the flight path of the plane. Lena, what are you learning about this?
Hi, Roz. Well, using flight tracking sources, we can see that the plane, a fixed-wing, single-engine aircraft, took off from Akron Fulton Municipal Airport around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And you can see the track of the plane. It traveled way down south near the Columbus area, just east of Columbus, to Cambridge, and then began circling back up north toward Akron Fulton Airport. And then we can take a closer look at the path. The plane circled around Akron Fulton Airport once, then came back around before then crashing right off of Schwartz Road, which is just south of the 277-77 interchange, about 3:45 in the afternoon. Again, it was a 1963 Piper Cherokee plane that was registered to Echo Aviation, which is based in Akron. So we did some digging around, and the company appears to have links to flight training, but we continue to dig into more into this company, and Russ will bring you more as we learn more.
Well, it feels like there's been more and more plane crashes lately. I don't know if it's just I'm imagining things, or it's just we're seeing more stuff about it in the news, but a lot of plane crashes. Let's go over to this next video and see what else it tells us.
Oh my gosh. This morning, an investigation is underway after this terrifying scene unfolded Thursday in Akron, Ohio.
That thing went up in smoke, and then there it goes, boom again.
A small single-engine plane crashing into a home and bursting into flames. Authorities say 2 people on board were killed.
Loud boom, big fire, and lots of black smoke. They are now advising there's a house on fire.
The accident happened about 4 miles away from the Akron Fulton Airport, where the plane initially took off.
This is insane. I don't think I've ever seen a worse fire.
Video shows part of the tail from the 1963 Piper Cherokee in the home's driveway.
We arrived to heavy smoke coming out of the house, and we approached it as a house fire.
While it's unclear what exactly caused the plane to go down, officials say miraculously everyone inside the home escaped safely. Christy Gold lives nearby.
And my heart was racing because it sounded like something was going to land on my house. Seconds later, there was an explosion.
She says she spoke to the family who lives in the house and that a man and his 2 daughters were inside at the time.
He said that they were upstairs napping. And so where the plane went into the house, it was by the garage. And he reacted in enough time to get the kids out, everybody out safely.
The shocked neighborhood shaken up as authorities work to find answers.
We do have to be very protective of all of the residents who live here, make sure they're safe as we continue the investigation.
Now, the FAA says the National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, will be leading this investigation. And that neighbor that you heard from in the piece just there said that the father was actually downstairs when the plane hit. He had to run upstairs to get his girls and save the dog, all while that fire was spreading. Fortunately, as we mentioned, the people inside that home are safe. Craig?
Wow, it's a pretty remarkable story inside that house. Okay, Shaquille Bristol, Shaq, thank you.
I mean, that's a father right there, if anything, but that's that's luck. I don't know, because if the plane would have moved in any other direction, it could have hit them immediately. Now, my main thinking is, how would you feel living in that neighborhood, knowing that a plane crashed down? Are you worried that other plane crashes will happen? Are you just thinking this is just a once in a lifetime type of situation? How would you feel in their situation? Let's get over into the AI breakdown and just see if we have any more information about this case to wrap it up. So as we know, on Thursday afternoon, May 14th, a small single engine plane crashed into a residential home in Akron, Ohio, killing both occupants on board and triggering a massive fire. Miraculously, a father and his two young children were inside the home and able to escape uninjured. It happened at the 2200 block of Centerburg Circle inside of a housing development in South Akron, situated near the Firestone Country Club. So the aircraft departed around 2:03 p.m. After flying roughly an hour and 40 minutes. First responders were dispatched to the crash scene at approximately 3:45. So as we know, it was identified by the FAA, white, blue, 1963 Pier, PA 180 Cherokee. So the homeowner, Colton, was working in the basement when the internet cut out and the house was violently shook. He rushed upstairs, navigated a wall of smoke, and pulled his two children out of the beds and escaped outside with the family dog. Ground safety was heavily aided by the angle of impact. The plane skipped the road, skipped the curb, slammed directly into the home's garage and truck, sparing the area where the children were napping and where he was working at. While no one on the ground was physically hurt, the home is in total loss, of course. Emergency personnel safely evacuated two adjacent properties as precaution while they were suppressing the intense flames. The NTSB is leading the active safety investigation alongside the FAA and Ohio State Patrol. An air traffic controller recording shows the pilot attempting to initially landing approach around 3:30, aborted it to go around and line up again at 3:40. I was wondering, that's my initial thought when you saw the plane trajectory, whatever, however you say it. When you saw his route, you could see that he went around trying to come back in. So I don't know what happened in that situation. Did the plane go out? Was there a malfunction? But he obviously, something went terribly wrong. Before communicating suddenly ceased without a distress call. Investigators are examining the engine health and regional weather data, noting that while skies were clear, local winds were at heavily up to 25 knots. The name of the pilot and passenger killed inside the aircraft are being withheld. Wow. So it's crazy. He was trying to okay. So the biggest thing that I'm taking away from this is that he tried to do an initial landing at that 3:30 p.m., aborted it to go around and line up again. And while he was trying to line up again, that's when, for some reason, it crashed. So most likely, just my thinking, I'm not really don't know too much about the plane mechanics and everything, but if he didn't get any distress call, and most likely something happened with the power and it cut out. That's my only thinking. Let me know if you know any more about different plane mechanics and anything like that, but that's a wildness. What are the odds that happened? And you can only thank God that you weren't in the wrong spot of the house at the time. Wow. The world's a crazy place and there's a lot of crazy things going on, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said.